Okay, let's be real. You're about to walk into the AQA GCSE Geography Paper 3 exam, and Section A is just staring you down. This year, it's all about the UK's water crisis and that massive Lincolnshire Reservoir project. I know, it's stressful. And the absolute hardest part of this entire paper, it's that final boss, the 9-mark decision question. But don't worry, I've got the ultimate cheat code to lower that anxiety and get you those top marks.
So if you want to hit a grade 8 or 9 on any of these questions, you've got to use what's called a balanced option approach. Basically, your essay has to look at things from different scales, local versus national, and different timeframes, like weighing the short-term construction hassle against long-term security. And to do that, you're going to use the ultimate cheat code structure, PEAC. That's point, evidence, analysis, and counterpoint. Today, we're going to walk through the 5 exact 9-mark questions that could come up on your exam, break them down step by step, and give you the grade 9 model answers. Let's do this.
All right, let's dive right into the first potential question, the core decision. This is the big one, right? The most direct question they could ask. So how does our cheat code handle it? Okay, here's the breakdown. For your point, you're going to say, yes, it absolutely should go ahead to secure our long-term national water security. For your evidence, you pull straight from Figure 3. It's going to provide 166 million liters of water every single day to about 500,000 homes. For your analysis, you explain just how massive that is. This literally helps fix the national geographical divide, where the superpopulated southeast gets like no rain. And then for your counterpoint, you have to acknowledge the local social cost. Figure 3 shows it's going to flood 5 square kilometers of farmland, destroy over 50 homes, and has already kicked off a 2,000 signature petition because of all the construction traffic. Put it all together and a top grade answer sounds a little something like this.
So, a top answer here has to make a really decisive statement. You argue that the reservoir should go ahead. You're using evidence from the figures about the water crisis and the 500,000 homes it's going to supply. You'd absolutely acknowledge the huge local downsides, the lost farmland, the displaced homes, but you have to finish with a strong, justified statement just like the one you see here. That final sentence shows the examiner that you've weighed all the evidence and you've made a clear, confident decision.
Don't let this next one catch you out. It is a classic exam trap. When you see the word sustainability, you have to break it down into 3 parts: economic, social, and environmental. So, how do we apply our PEAC structure to this tricky question of sustainability?
For your point, you'd say it's highly sustainable economically and socially, but it presents some pretty severe environmental challenges. Your evidence? Economically, it brings in a whopping £2.6 billion. Socially, it creates new recreational facilities. For your analysis, you explain that it provides long-term social sustainability by making sure there's water for 175,000 new homes down the line. But here's the counterpoint. Environmentally, it's a hard engineering project, which means it destroys ecosystems. The key is to balance these. A top answer would conclude that while it's definitely flawed environmentally at a local level, the project is pretty essential for the region's long-term economic and social sustainability. Next up, let's really focus in on water security. This is a huge theme in the pre-release material, so let's get into it.
So, for this question, our PE breakdown looks like this.
Your point, it's going to massively improve our water security by acting as a giant storage facility. For your evidence, you'll mention that it stores 55 million cubic meters of winter water so we can use it in those dry summers. In your analysis, you have to connect this to climate change. We need to capture that winter rain before it just flows out to sea and is lost forever. And now for the counterpoint, and this is that top-level thinking. It does not improve our security against pollution. I mean, if the water going into the reservoir is contaminated, what's the point?
The big takeaway here is nuance. A really great answer will show that the reservoir boosts supply security, storing the water, but it doesn't solve the quality security issue of pollution. Your conclusion has to emphasize that both of these problems need to be tackled together. That leads to a sophisticated final thought, just like the one on your screen. That's how you show an examiner you're thinking at a grade 9 level.
All right, time for the ultimate showdown. Opportunities versus negative impacts. You ready for this?
This question is all about making a final, justified judgment call.
So, for your point, you'll say the opportunities far outweigh the negatives, but only when you look at it on a national, long-term scale. Your evidence? It protects us against a 4 billion litre daily water deficit and actually creates new wetland habitats. For your analysis, you need to throw in this massive keyword, NIMBYism. This shows the examiner you get the whole conflict of scales. Local residents suffer, but 500,000 homes benefit forever. And for your counterpoint, you argue that from a local perspective, like for the National Farmers Union, the negative impacts are devastating. It's destroying businesses and food production.
And this is where you bring it all home. You acknowledge the really serious local impacts, using that concept of NIMBYism to show the examiner you understand the conflict. But then you have to make a call. You argue that the national need for water for 500,000 homes is the most important factor, landing on a strong, clear judgment just like the one on the slide.
Last one. Come on, push through. Because this is how we link it all to the biggest issue of all, climate change.
Let's tackle this final question head on.
Now for this final question, our PEAC structure looks a little different. Your point is that the reservoir acts as a vital climate change adaptation strategy. The evidence? Climate change is going to make water restrictions twice as common, and this project stores winter floodwater to be used during summer droughts. Your analysis is that it helps us manage the extreme weather we're already seeing. But here's the killer counterpoint. While it helps us adapt, the massive construction effort with all that concrete releases huge amounts of carbon emissions, which actively contributes to global warming.
So you see the irony, right? The reservoir is an adaptation strategy, but a top-level answer will point out that its own construction actually contributes to the problem it's trying to solve. The best conclusion, as highlighted right here, is that large-scale engineering isn't enough. We also need to focus on low-carbon, demand-side strategies to really tackle the issue from all angles. Showing you see both sides of that climate coin is absolutely crucial.
And there you have it. You now have the exact breakdown and the absolute best grade 9 model answers for the 5 biggest questions that could hit you on exam day. Remember the PEAC structure, remember to balance the local versus the national scale, and please don't forget to practice timing yourself. Hit that subscribe button, go crush your revision, and go get that grade 9. You've got this.